So then tell me what made you come to Reading?
When I told you about my parents pursuing the American dream, Reading gave them that opportunity. So a lot of my family members lived in like Queens and the Bronx. And some of them, they owned their properties in Queens. And then at some point sold and they found Reading. So we were visiting Reading. And then my mom, she was like, oh my gosh, Reading is so much calmer than New York City. I could really raise my girls right, especially my sister my sister was born when I was 9, which is part of the reason my mom shipped me first and then shipped her off. So I told you about that tender age, right? So when I was graduating high school, my mom, instead of shipping my sister to the Dominican Republic, she wanted to protect her. She explored her options and she was able to buy a home here in Reading, like cash, and fix it and made it her home. So between my parents, I remember my dad was the fixer-upper and he would have a crew and come every weekend to fix this house to make it perfect for her and my sister and me eventually. So, I always stayed connected with Reading, had a lot of family. I would always love to come and visit and disconnect from city life and just, bond with family. It was just calmer. And I knew that eventually at some point in my life, when I started my family, that I would come back and settle here. When I lived in the Dominican Republic with my twin cousins, both females, I'm a year older. There were also other cousins that also lived with, not in the same house, but like on the same block. So there was about 4 of us. We made this pact that one day we would become fashion designers and we would own this business together. Remember, I told you I want to be a fashion designer.
Oh, yeah.
I was like 12, always wanting to do that, but never really went into that field. In any case, we made a pact. We wrote it. I still have that piece of paper somewhere. I got to look for it. And so fast forward, I had my son in 2005. In one of my visits to Reading, my twin cousins had this business. They had a cafe. It was called Cafe Di Gemelli's. And I remember like, oh my gosh, you girls started something without me. What happened to our pact? They were fed up. They wanted to get rid of it. And then I remember like having, my kids are about 18 months apart. And then imagine I was running the community center and I was also working for the school part-time. So I would be in that school building from 8 a.m. to like 9:30 at night. So I would leave my babies sleeping, find them sleeping, and only got to really spend weekends with them. And that was taking a really toll on me because I'm like, gosh, I'm dedicating all this time to like raising other people's children, but yet I'm neglecting my own. When this opportunity presented itself with the twins wanting to sell this business, I was praying. I pray a lot. I prayed. And then, and again, I would always visit Reading. So in my visits, I remember coming here and like the place was shut down. I remember my aunt was in the kitchen, like baking flans and cheesecakes. Cause at that point they were like supplying bodegas with cheesecakes and flans. That's how they were kind of like sustaining the business. Gotcha. It was a done deal. So I remember I had my son in my hand and I just felt the butterflies in my stomach. And I was like, oh man, God, are you talking to me? Maybe this is where I need to be. And I didn't know anything about running a restaurant. Okay. I loved food. That's about as much as what I knew. But I knew management and I knew that if I put my heart into it, if I put my mind into it, like I always say, when there's a will, there's a way. So that's always been my motto. And then I said, you know what? Something's got to give. Like, I want to be a mom, but I couldn't afford it in New York City to just be exclusively a mom. So this restaurant fell into my lap and it gave me the opportunity to be involved in my kid's life, have them here with me while I worked, right? So I could be a mom and earn. I try to make it work.